Nathan Cross had built his reputation on making impossible deals work, but asking his housekeeper to pretend to be his girlfriend felt like the most challenging negotiation of his career. At 34, Nathan commanded a financial empire that had made him one of the city's most eligible bachelors, a status that had become more burden than blessing since his ex-wife had left him and their 6-year-old son Oliver 2 years ago. The endless parade of social events and business dinners now felt like minefields where ambitious women saw dollar signs rather than the devoted father he had become. The crisis had come that morning when his business partner announced that their biggest potential client, Harrison Industries, wanted to meet Nathan's family before signing a $50 million contract. Family values matter to us, Harrison had explained during their phone call. We prefer working with stable family men who understand long-term commitment. Nathan had nodded along while mentally calculating how much this lie was about to cost him. He could not afford to lose this contract. But he also refused to parade Oliver through business meetings like a prop that left him with exactly one option. Isabella Santos had worked for Nathan for 8 months, managing his household with quiet efficiency while Oliver was at school. Was perhaps 27, with dark hair usually pulled back in a practical ponytail and warm brown eyes that lit up whenever Oliver showed her his latest art project. What Nathan appreciated most was how naturally she interacted with his son. Treating Oliver like a person rather than an obligation, Isabella, Nathan said that afternoon as she organized his home office, "I have an unusual request." Isabella looked up from filing papers, her expression politely curious. "I need someone to attend a business dinner with me tomorrow night," Nathan continued, feeling heat rise in his cheeks. "Not as an employee, but as someone who might appear to be my girlfriend." Isabella's eyes widened in surprise. "Mr. Cross, I do not understand." Nathan explained about the Harrison contract, about their preference for family-oriented business partners, about his need to appear settled and committed rather than divorced and struggling. "It would just be one evening," Nathan said quickly. "You would wear something elegant, make pleasant conversation, and help me secure this contract in return. I would pay you a bonus equivalent to 3 months' salary." Isabella was quiet for a long moment. "I have never pretended to be something I am not," she said finally. Nathan felt his hopes deflate. "I understand if you are not comfortable. But," Isabella continued, "Oliver has told me how hard you work to provide for him, and if this contract means security for your family, then perhaps one evening of pretense is worthwhile." The relief Nathan felt was overwhelming. "Thank you, Isabella. I promise this will be professional and respectful." The next evening, Nathan barely recognized the woman who answered her apartment door. Isabella wore an elegant emerald dress that complemented her complexion perfectly. Her hair was styled in soft waves, and she carried herself with a confidence that transformed her from efficient housekeeper to stunning companion. "You look beautiful," Nathan said, and meant it. Isabella smiled, though he could see nervousness in her eyes. "Just remember, if anyone asks, 'How did we meet?' Nathan had prepared for this. We met when you were visiting the Children's Museum with your niece, and Oliver immediately took to you. Your kindness with children made me realize you were someone special. The story was close enough to truth to feel comfortable. Isabella did volunteer at the Children's Museum, and Oliver genuinely adored her. The dinner at the exclusive Meridian Club exceeded Nathan's expectations. Isabella proved to be charming, intelligent, and remarkably skilled at deflecting personal questions while appearing open and friendly. She spoke knowledgeably about art, literature, and current events, holding her own in conversations with some of the city's most powerful business leaders. More importantly, when Harrison asked about their relationship, Isabella's answers felt genuine. Rather than rehearsed, "Nathan is the most devoted father I have ever met," she said with sincerity that made Nathan's chest tighten. "Oliver is lucky to have someone who puts family before everything else." Harrison nodded approvingly. That kind of dedication to family usually translates to dedication in business partnerships as the evening progressed. Nathan found himself forgetting they were pretending. Something about Isabella's presence made him feel more like himself than he had in months. She laughed at his jokes, offered thoughtful insights during business discussions, and somehow made the high-pressure dinner feel almost enjoyable. When Harrison pulled Nathan aside near the end of the evening, his approval was obvious. "Your Isabella is remarkable," Harrison said. "You are fortunate to have found someone who clearly supports your priorities. We would be honored to work with someone who has built such a solid foundation." The contract was theirs in the car afterward. Nathan felt euphoric about their success, but oddly reluctant for the evening to end. "You were incredible tonight," he told Isabella. "I could not have asked for a better partner in this charade." Isabella looked out the window at the city lights. "That is the thing," she said quietly. It did not feel like a charade. Nathan's breath caught. "What do you mean?" Isabella turned to face him. "For months, I have been watching you with Oliver, seeing how you balance work and parenting, admiring your dedication to giving him stability. And tonight, pretending to be the woman who gets to share that life with you, I realized how much I wish it were real." The honesty in her voice made Nathan pull over to the curb so he could look at her properly. "Isabella," he said carefully, "are you saying—" "I am saying that somewhere between helping Oliver with homework and watching you sacrifice social opportunities to be present for him, I developed feelings that go far beyond professional respect." Isabella's voice was steady, despite the vulnerability of her admission. Nathan felt his world shift in ways that had nothing to do with business contracts. "Isabella, I had no idea. How could you?" she replied with a sad smile. "I am just the housekeeper who helps keep your life organized." "You are not just anything," Nathan said firmly. "Isabella, you are the person who makes our house feel like a home. You are the reason Oliver comes home from school excited to share his day. You are the person I look forward to seeing every evening when I get home from work." Isabella stared at him in surprise. "You never indicated because I thought it would be inappropriate," Nathan admitted. "Because I thought someone as remarkable as you deserved better than a divorced father with complicated circumstances, because I was afraid that if I misread the situation, I would lose the best thing that has happened to Oliver, and me in years." They sat in silence for a moment, both processing this unexpected revelation. "What happens now?" Isabella asked. Nathan reached for her hand. "Now we stop pretending and see if what felt real tonight actually is real 6 months later." At their engagement party, Harrison approached Nathan with a knowing smile. "I hope you do not mind," Harrison said, "but I should confess something. That evening when we met Isabella, it was obvious to everyone at the table that you two were genuinely in love. The way you looked at each other, the natural affection, the obvious partnership. None of us believed for a second that your relationship was anything but completely authentic." Nathan laughed, looking across the room where Isabella was helping Oliver arrange flowers for the centerpieces. "You mean our fake relationship was so unconvincing that everyone could tell it was real?" "Exactly," Harrison replied. "Sometimes the heart knows what the mind has not yet figured out." Nathan watched Isabella and Oliver work together, marveling at how naturally they had become a family. The woman he had asked to pretend to love him had somehow made that pretense into the most genuine relationship of his life. When they married, Oliver served as ring bearer, walking down the aisle with the proud satisfaction of someone whose matchmaking instincts had proven correct at the reception. As Nathan and Isabella danced to their first song as husband and wife, she whispered in his ear, "Do you ever wonder what would have happened if you had not needed a fake girlfriend?" Nathan smiled, spinning her gently. "I think we would have found our way to each other eventually." Real love has a way of making itself known, even when we try to disguise it as something else. Sometimes the most authentic connections begin with the most artificial circumstances, when two hearts recognize each other despite the roles they are supposed to be playing.